Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Joined today by an old friend of mine, Mr. Scott Saunders of the Promised Land podcast, a Manchester United fan. How are you doing, Scott?
Miserable, you know. Imagine watching our football teams at the moment,
Yeah,
and being happy.
well, exactly. I mean, if I'd have told you at the start of the season that I'd be inviting you on to basically work out if either one of us is going to get relegated, would you believe me, or could you have foreseen that?
Well, no, it's a little bit of a surprise, but I've learned not to be too surprised by anything Man United do over the last 12 years. And I thought Tottenham were actually looking all right for a little while. I didn't expect this to happen, but
Yeah,
here we are.
yeah. Until basically all of our players decided to get injured. I think that was a decision they made. I'm going to blame them. And
Yeah.
we sort of forgot how to play football anyway, on top of that, which isn't ideal. Just from the off the very top, mate, I'm not going to ask you what you think about Manchester United, but in your heart of hearts, can you see Tottenham going down? Do you think they're in a relegation fight?
Look, no, not really. Just because of how bad the teams beneath them are. That's my. So it's not a promotion of Tottenham Hotspur in a sense. It's more Southampton are done, Leicester City are pretty much done, and I think Ipswich are done as well. And Wolves are that bottom four in there. Probably will be, yeah. Look, Tottenham, you got an 8-point cushion. With 16 games left. How many games?
For now.
16 games. I think you'd be okay. But you never know. Crazy things have happened.
I know it was raised on a friend's podcast earlier that the only problem is when it comes to Spurs is that everybody that plays us will be like, "Oh, we can get Spurs relegated. That'll be quite fun." So there is that anxiety. But I'll tell you what. Look, let's what we're going to do today. We're using worldfootball.net. We're going to basically go through the remaining game weeks, work out, predict essentially all of the scores, and then we'll end up seeing where Spurs and Man United finish. Sound good to you, Scott?
Sounds depressingly fun.
Right, so let's go Liverpool Ipswich first. I mean that's a home banker, isn't it? That's a big.
Yeah, that's a good 3-0 there.
3-0, exactly what I was going to say. We'll go with that. Wolves, Arsenal. Wolves have been in good form lately, but Arsenal are Arsenal, aren't they? Maybe a draw. Maybe.
Are you saying that in hope? Because
maybe a little bit. See, this is why it's helpful to have somebody else on there, mate.
I think that's a narrow 1-0 for Arsenal, personally.
1-0 to the Arsenal. All right, let's give that a. Brighton versus Everton. I think Brighton will probably do Everton. Although Brighton haven't been. Actually, they won away at Newcastle, didn't they, the other day? What am I talking about? No, they won away at Manchester United. Yeah.
They beat Manchester United. But David Moyes' Everton could go in and frustrate them. I don't know.
Let's go like a 2-2 on that one, I reckon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's get that. Southampton, Newcastle. I think that's Newcastle all over, isn't it? Let's see.
That's a 5-0. 5-0.
You're going 5-0. Yeah.
Southampton are terrible.
This would be quite a good one. Bournemouth. Iraola's Bournemouth. Iraola, potential Tottenham Hotspur new manager, against Tottenham Hotspur's old manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, who has got them up in the Champions League places. What are you saying for this one, mate? I can't really call this one.
It's two teams, the two surprise packages of the season, I suppose. I think that's a 1-1 draw, to be honest, because I think Forest, the way that they set up, might be enough to surprise them and get something.
City back on the up, it would seem, and Chelsea back on the down as well. So I can see this being maybe a 3-1 home victory to City.
Yeah, go with that. I was pushing an agenda for a number of months that Man City were finished, and they were for a while, and then they ended up buying 4 players in January. So we'll see.
Are you listening, Daniel Levy? That's what happens. You know what I mean? That's what real clubs do. That's what proper clubs do. Crystal Palace versus Brentford. that's a bit of a bore-off fixture. That I'd sort of probably say a 1-1 maybe in that one, a draw.
I fancy surprise Brentford, but you could get. I'll give you 1-1 there. To be honest,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a bit worried about this one, mate. We have no players. We've got Pape Matar out injured today as well. We're going to be playing in Europe tomorrow on the Thursday. Leicester desperate, absolutely desperate down here in this fight. But I think have they lost 7 on the bounce? Is it right now?
Is it?
I think it might be that bad.
Yeah, to be honest, that appointment with Rude, as much as I like him, I don't think that's going to keep them up. Not the kind of profile of manager. Maybe Tottenham will benefit. I think that's a late 2-1 Tottenham win, personally. I think you take a win there and just edge away from the drop zone a little bit more. But if I'm forcing your hand here, you don't have to oblige.
I mean, look, my pessimism, I can't, fingers crossed, I can't see us losing to Leicester. Could I see us drawing to Leicester, a plucky Leicester who kind of have a bee in their bonnet with Spurs, even though they beat us to the title back in I think it was 15-16, wasn't it now? Yeah.
Yes.
Even though they beat us to that, they still, I don't know, have us as the picture on their dartboard. So they often tend to raise their game against us, but I would like to think we can win that one. So I'll go with your neutral optimism on that one, mate.
I think you'd be good.
Villa versus West Ham. I can see Villa turning them over, probably 3-1. I reckon, quite sort of comprehensively, easily. This is an interesting one, mate. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think United have got Rangers in the Europa League as well.
Never an easy one.
Never an easy one. This is 1-0 Fulham for me.
I was going to say 1-0 or 2-1 to them. I can see it now.
Yeah.
1-0. I gave you a dash there at first. Wasn't even going to give Manchester United. Is a dash below a nil? Maybe it is. Right, let's see where we're at there. So that sees Tottenham pull ahead of Manchester United in the table if those fixtures go that way.
It's a little mini league here between who can be less bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see that little meme the other day, which was the mini league of how not to run a football team?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah. And they're still all together there as well. Tottenham, United, West Ham, and Everton, and Wolves if you want to include them. There you go.
Right, let's go to game week 24 then. Forest versus Brighton. I don't know, probably another draw maybe on that one. Or can you see Forest taking the home advantage?
I kind of like how Forest are set up, to be honest. So I give them a 2-1.
2-1. All right, let's go with that. Brighton they've been somewhat inconsistent this year, haven't they? They're not quite they are a good team. They're still a decent side, but I don't know. You feel like you can get at Brighton a little bit more this year than previous years, but it's hard to say that to a Manchester United fan after the other night. Newcastle versus Fulham. I could see that being a draw. I could almost
me too.
see Fulham sneaking a win up there, but not definitely. That's just a fanciful idea.
1-1.
Let's go 1-1.
Is that going to be the neutral result we just keep picking when we don't know?
Probably, but I mean, it works, doesn't it? Everton. I mean, this is a dirge. This is a horrible match, but I can see Everton beating Leicester. That's 2-0 maybe. I reckon
2-0. 2-0 was what I was thinking.
Everton don't score, but still, they scored a few against Spurs the other night. Bournemouth, Liverpool. That's tough. Maybe Liverpool could get back here a little bit. Maybe.
Should we go brave 2-1 Bournemouth?
Yeah, let's do it. Because I know
let's
what
do
you're
it.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool are going to win 6-1 now, aren't they? But it's what it is.
Probably. But oh my God, Ipswich, Southampton.
There's a glamour tie.
Yeah, that's Ipswich all over though for me. I just look at Southampton, 6 points all season, just terrible.
Let's say 2-0, I reckon, maybe, on
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, yeah.
Wolves Villa, Midlands Derby. Probably, I'd be tempted to say a draw. I might even say Wolves might beat Villa in this because Villa again have been somewhat inconsistent this season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But Wolves don't like Cunha could be gone by then, maybe. So where do their goals come from? Maybe give it to him. I would say 2-1.
Yeah, Mister. I can see you winning this one. I can see you beating Palace, to be honest.
It seems like every time Man United play Palace, though, at the moment, that Palace win.
Really?
So, yeah, like I think they won this game at Old Trafford last season, 1-0. I think. They then. What happened in the reverse? I can't remember. Look, I think I can't really predict that United with any confidence will go and beat teams like Palace at the moment. It's if you've got some kind of pace and some kind of attacking thrust about you, then United are very easy to pick off. I'll give you the call on this one though.
I think you'll beat him 2-1
Very generous.
in that one. I don't think we've ever won at Brentford. I think there's
I don't
something.
think.
I think there's
Yeah,
something strange like that. I don't think we've ever won at Brentford in the Premier League, at least.
I don't think you're
Frank,
winning that one either.
nah, Frank, like I think he's a good manager, but he knows. He also knows how to kill a game.
Yeah.
And Spurs really struggle because I think it would be an unfair characterization to say Brentford play a low block because I don't think they're like that team, but they're definitely pragmatic, shall we say? That's how I'd characterize Brentford. And Spurs tend to come unstuck. There's a reason why Spurs have won kind of games against United, City, and such this season, and we lose games to teams like Crystal Palace and Ipswich because we struggle against teams that don't really want to let us play Ange ball, and I can't see Brentford letting us do that. I can see us getting miserably humbled in this one. I think I would say 2-0 to Brentford. I reckon in this one.
I was going to give you a point, like a 2-2, but like the more you talk about it, Brentford have got a good home record this year as well, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I think maybe you're right.
Actually, maybe we'll score. I think we'll score a goal. There you go.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Lots of 2-1s. If it feels like 2-1 is the default score now. 3-2-1s in a row.
I think Arsenal are going to get too excited that Liverpool lost the day before to Bournemouth, and I think they're going to lose this. I think they're going to think that Manchester City are done. They're going to underestimate them, and Man City are going to show up and beat Arsenal. What I would say is, although they beat us, and I know their record in the North London derby is now disgracefully good against us, we were awful the other night at the Emirates, and Arsenal weren't that good. They really weren't that good against us. Followed it up with a draw against Villa as well. I can see them losing this. I can see a buoyant City giving them a slap at the Emirates.
I don't think Arsenal win this, but I'm still not confident City are back. So
2-2?
Yeah, something like that for me.
Give it a 2-2. Because it could be my wishful thinking that Arsenal kind of don't win the league, basically playing into. Although, I know you're not exactly going to be over the moon if Arsenal win the league either.
It's either them or Liverpool, or like I pick Forest if I was picking.
Yeah. Chelsea West Ham. That's a battle of two nice fan bases there. I could see Chelsea doing that one though. Probably 3-1, I would guess.
But think it's Graham Potter going back to Stamford Bridge.
That's true.
You
tip them to a draw?
I think a draw. I think a draw. 1-1.
1-1. Okay, let's go with that. So after that round of fixtures, we've got Liverpool still sitting top of the table. And we have Manchester United jumping ahead of Tottenham now. You're leapfrogging us. Where are we sat though? 27 points and 14th. Pulling away from the relegation zone at this point. So, I mean, let's Let's stay on that trajectory. Brighton and Hove versus Chelsea. Probably, probably a draw, or I sort of think a Chelsea win. But what do you reckon?
I would have said Brighton or draw. So draw.
Let's go draw.
Let's go high scoring draw. 3-3.
3-3.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Leicester, Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal are going to batter them, aren't they? So that's
yeah.
3-0, 4-0. Should we say 4-0?
Yeah.
Let's give them a 4-0. Southampton, Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth should be winning that one. A South
3-0
Coast.
Bournemouth. Yeah. I don't think I've given Southampton a goal yet.
West Ham, Brentford. Oh, that's got draw written all over it for me. But what about you?
Yeah. No, I agree.
What do you say?
I think there'll be one day where Potter has a nice win.
Yeah.
But Brentford are just a bit of a sticky team, aren't they? You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yes, they do too. Let's do that. Villa, Ipswich. I can see Villa turning Ipswich over. It's not the biggest call, is it? But what about you? City, that'll be an interesting game. That'll be a good one. I could see Newcastle getting a draw there.
Haven't they got a really awful record at City?
They might do. I was actually, as I was saying that, I was thinking, when did I last actually sort of recall Newcastle beating Manchester City? And I can't. I'm sure they have done. I'm just saying I can't think of any like our result, because that would be like one of those sort of standout results, wouldn't it? You know, the kind of the Saudi PIF here to take over and back thing. Well, that's the narrative, isn't it? It's the oil money derby.
I go 1-0 City, but I'll give, if you want to go draw, I could see it because Newcastle are that kind of team.
Yeah. Fulham Forest could be a tricky one for Forest, this one, but also Fulham do play quite open football. I can see Forest picking them off. Forest are they're quite an effective team.
I really like them. I
Yeah.
like teams that are really defensively sound and effective. What have we given them so far? 24 goals conceded after 24 games. Like in our imaginary additional fixture world. So 3-1 Forest.
Yeah, I like the sound of that because I can just, like I say, I can see Fulham, Marco Silva taking the game to them and coming unstuck. Palace, Everton, that's a miserable one, but that's got a draw written all over it for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we do 1-1 too much. Let's do a miserable 0-0.
Yeah, there you go, a board draw.
Let's get some more nil. We need more 0-0s in there.
Board draw, proper football. Liverpool Wolves, that's got to be a big win to Liverpool.
Yeah, I go 3-1.
Yeah,
maybe just like maybe early Wolves goal and then Liverpool roar back with some kind of lucky goal or 3-goal spurt in 5 minutes. Oh, look at this one. This
my gut says you're winning this, but you know, a bit of revenge for earlier on in the season.
Well,
but you're quite bad as well.
At some point, I do think, and we're talking about potentially Tottenham and United getting relegated here, but I do think that if United's system clicks at some point, I do think that kind of system will cause problems to a team like Spurs. So, but I don't know. Your stadium can get pretty noisy, and
mate, everyone beats us in our stadium. This is the problem with it. Like everybody loves playing in our grounds.
I'll let you make the call on this one.
I think your turn is over in this one. I can see you doing this 2 or 3-1. To be honest, so you can pick from
2-1.
that
2-1. Let's do 2-1.
2-1 to Manchester United. So we'll calculate that. That's AFC Bournemouth in 5th place. City back in the top 4 there. Manchester United up to 12th. Spurs back down to 15th, dropping below West Ham United. 27 points again. Thankfully, due to the results below us, not dropping too perilously close to the relegation stage at that point. But you know, there's still time.
We need to engineer Man United having some kind of disastrous run. So in order to keep this interesting because they're getting too far away from the drop zone now.
Well, but this is your late surge for a Champions League place, right? Is that how far off are you that now? See, 32. You know.
No, but isn't it like we're talking about Man United and Tottenham? Yet the two favourites to win the Europa League are Manchester United and Tottenham.
Yeah.
So,
do you reckon?
So yeah, I could see one of them. Well, I actually think United will win it, but yeah, look, let's see.
Right. Leicester, Brentford. What are we saying there?
That's a 2-1 Brentford.
Yeah.
Am I being too mean to Leicester here? I don't know.
No, they're terrible. They're awful. Everton, they're not beating you. They're not beating you, but you might draw.
Yeah, go draw. I think it's United's last visit to Goodison ever. So, bit of a dangerous one, but 1-1 maybe.
1-1. Okay. Let's have a look here. So Southampton versus Brighton. Another South Coast derby. I think Brighton are going to smash this, aren't they? I'd say 2-0. I'd give them that 2-0.
Yeah. Still not giving Southampton a goal.
Ipswich, Tottenham. I mean, I really would hate to think about Ipswich doing the double over us this season. I could see us drawing this, though. I can see Spurs drawing this. What about you?
I could see Spurs losing this.
Oh God! What's your gut saying on this? What do you think? Just qualify that
one of those days where Portman Road gets up for it,
Yeah. They smell blood.
They smell blood, but let's do a 2-2.
Okay. I beg your pardon. Right. You've worried me now. You've got me rattled on that one, mate.
There will be one game though where Spurs go and win 5-6 or 4.
Will there?
Maybe it's coming up soon.
Will there? I can see Fulham taking Palace here. Probably 2-3-1.
Yeah. 2-1.
2-1. Oh, go then.
Or 3-1.
32-1. Arsenal, West Ham. Arsenal surely do that one, won't they?
Yes.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Bournemouth, Wolves. That'd be quite an interesting one, but I can still see Bournemouth taking that one.
Yeah, I don't see a way out for Wolves, really. Out of endless...
Out of the doldrums.
Yeah, doldrums. That's the word. I don't think they'll go down, though. But that Bournemouth... maybe at some point the wheels come off for Bournemouth. But this one, I think they'll be fine.
2-1?
Yeah.
Villa, Chelsea.
2-2?
Yeah, let's give it that. Newcastle, Forest. That's another good one. I think that'll be... I could see in their mad pursuit of Champions League, Forest pulling off. Could see it being one of those like mad games that ends up 3-2 to Forest after a lot of back and forth. But I can just see Forest sneaking a result here.
I love the sound of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I really do like it. We haven't had too many major shock results yet either. So maybe that's one of the biggest ones so far.
Can you see Manchester City trying to spoil the party for Liverpool a little bit here?
Yeah, I can.
It's got Pep. It's got Pep being a bastard written all over it, doesn't it?
I don't think City win, but I don't think Liverpool win.
No. Should we say 2-2?
Yeah, let's do 2-2.
So after that, let's calculate that. Let's see where that leaves. Bournemouth into the top 4. Leapfrogging Manchester City. Arsenal closing the gap on Liverpool. Spurs up to 14th, but still, it's not
perilously close to safety. That magical 40-point mark.
Yeah, just about. When was Liverpool's game in hand? What game week was the Everton? Because it's Everton, isn't it, that needs to be
It's
rescheduled?
yeah, it's. I think it might be next week.
Is that when they're going to play it? So we need to go back.
Oh no, it's February 12th. February 12th.
February 12th, that would have been. So, right, we would have had that already. So we need to go back and find out when that game should have been played. There we go. Game week 15. What we're saying, I think Liverpool should take this, shouldn't they? Or do you not? Can you see Everton
Last
get?
Merseyside derby at Goodison.
Oh yeah, true.
You
What
know?
you gonna go? You're gonna go for a big one, a big Everton win.
Nah, they did it last year, didn't they? But no, I think draw. I think draw.
What are you saying?
You depend like we do 1-1 to be
Yeah.
a little bit conservative. If you want to go any more creative than that, feel free. But
I like the sound of that. Let's give them that. So that's 1-1. Leaves them 4 points clear at the top of the table as we go into. Let's just see we've not missed that. Okay, it's game week 27. Brighton versus Bournemouth, another South Coast derby. I can see Bournemouth doing this. So, do you think this could be the start of where the wheels come off? Bournemouth now into the top four, maybe get ideas above their station, get a nosebleeds. What do you reckon?
well, yes, maybe that's a nice 3-1 Brighton. But I'm looking at this table. I'm thinking Forest are still hanging in there.
Yeah,
That's.
I don't think we've predicted them any wild results either. 3-2 at St James's Park, maybe, but you know,
But that's completely foreseeable and doable.
yeah.
The way it's going at the moment.
Palace, I think Villa will beat them 2-1 here.
Yeah, me too.
Wolves, Fulham. It's going to be tough, but I think Fulham will probably. I could maybe even see that being another 2-1 as well to Fulham.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe like Wolves have like they can throw in a surprise result here and there, but maybe not this time.
Where are they now? They're sat. Okay, so they're sat below Ipswich. Maybe that the context of that having dropped into the relegation zone might give them a bit of a lift though to take Fulham on. Although Fulham themselves will now be chasing European football in this world that we're envisaging. So there's a lot at stake for both of these teams.
Wolves have dropped in.
What do you reckon? 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah, go for another 2-2. I think Chelsea they'll probably batter Southampton here. I think it could be like a 5-0. Go for a big one.
It just seems to be customary to just give Southampton 5-0 defeats.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty heavy win for Chelsea.
Forest, this is an interesting one, mate. What's your gut say here?
I bit back in Forest way too hard, but I could definitely see them winning this as it stands.
Yeah, 100%.
They've done it before to Arsenal.
Yeah, they've done it a few times. They did it when they were in the Championship to us. So I think FA Cup was Jed Spence masterclass. 2-1?
I was going 1-0, but
1-0,
2-1.
1-0 to the Forest. Brentford, Everton. I can see that's a slugfest. Frank versus Moyes. Might have a miserable 1-1 there, I might say.
Yeah, not one you'd want to go to for me.
I think you're going to get a good result here, mate. I can see it's been like a nice, juicy sort of 3-1 to Manchester United here.
You speak with optimism that I don't have, so I will take your word for it.
I know we have this hilarious habit of somehow always having the making of one of the best teams and best managers in like football, but I can't see it this season. We should by this point have, fingers crossed, Romero and Van de Ven back, but
is the timescale that long?
Well, I mean, when's this? February? Yeah, I mean they should be well back by this point, I'd hope.
Yeah,
But we
but
don't know
I
when.
think
Solanke might be back kind of around about this point as well, in time for this one.
I, I can't really predict City at the moment, and you can never really predict this game. But Tottenham do have a habit of, you know, doing this. But I think in the league with City chasing Champions League, I think it'll click on some occasions, and maybe this is one of the days.
Yeah, I think we're going to maybe get quite horribly beaten here. I could see it being maybe like a 3-1 to. Well, I'm not going to say 4. 3-1 to City. I reckon. I can see us getting done here.
Yeah, yeah.
Liverpool, Newcastle. I think just Howe is a smart manager, and he's very sort of flexible, and he manages game situations quite well. So I don't think he'll be too open against Liverpool. Newcastle can murder a game, but I still think they'll fancy having an attack because Newcastle they are still an attacking side ultimately, and I think Liverpool are too good for that, and I can see Liverpool just having them basically. What about you?
Yeah, I look. I think I can see Newcastle turning up and spoiling it, but maybe something narrow for Liverpool 2-1.
2-1. Okay, yeah, go with that. Then we got West Ham versus Leicester. Maybe Leicester can get a draw here. Should we be optimistic for Leicester because I think we've punished them thus far in basically every game we've predicted for them.
Let's do it. Let's give Rude something.
Just give them a 1-1.
Yeah.
So Forest second in the table now. Second in the table after that victory over Arsenal.
Do you think this is getting a tad unrealistic, or like?
I don't know. I think when you think about how the season's turning out, Forest are having something of an unrealistic season, aren't they? They could be doing a Leicester. You don't know. It could be an outside bet for that. Spurs, 28 points, 8-point buffer from the relegation zone now. United now, look, you're starting to get a bit comfortable now, aren't you? 36 points.
Yeah.
Exactly, a win and a draw away from the golden ratio. You should be all right. Spurs still with a bit of work to do. Tottenham versus Bournemouth.
Ooh.
I'd like to think we might have a bit more kind of consistency, be a bit more buoyant at this point. I mean, we could maybe glaze over the fact we just lost to City the week before. But still.
I look at this and I think there might be goals in this one. I'm thinking 7 goals.
Right? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
4-3 Tottenham.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll take that. Let's have that. Because Solanke will be back and he'll want to score. He'll get a hat-trick against his old club. A hat-trick of no celebration goals. Manchester United versus Arsenal. It's an old rivalry, that one. We've already done them in the FA Cup this season. This is one of those teams that I sort of feel that no matter how good they are and no matter how indifferent your form is, you often tend to get a result against Arsenal, don't you? They're sort of a bit scared of you in the way that City are of Spurs for whatever reason.
Yeah, they did go to United, I think it was last season, and control it and win. But yeah, I can't really see it this time. I actually picked Arsenal to win the league at the start of the season, but I just, unless they go big this month, I think they're just a bit limited.
Yeah,
so
they need a striker.
Maybe that's they do. Maybe that's a draw.
Draw. What do you say, 2-2?
Too many goals. Yeah, 2-2. Let's do 2-2.
Brentford Villa. I can see a draw in this one as well. What about you?
That is. I could maybe go draw, but I think that the volume of games will catch up with Villa at some point, and Brentford's a difficult place. So I'm thinking 3-1 Brentford.
Go on then. Let's have it. Wolves Everton. That's a battle at the bottom, if you like. Um, maybe this will be that game that you were saying where Wolves get a result. You know,
Yeah, let's have a. Yeah, it could be 3-4. Let's get creative here. Then we need to insert some more mad results in.
jeopardy.
Some jeopardy for these teams.
We are the masters of this universe, after all.
Yeah, 3-0 to Wolves, and they have this. And Everton will get one of those days as well. I think at some point.
Ooh, I like that. I like that as a call. Let's keep an eye out for that one. Brighton, Fulham. I can maybe see Brighton winning this. Actually, Fulham playing a bit too expansively. Brighton picking them off. Maybe 2-1, close
Yeah.
one.
2-1 either way. I'm happy with.
Palace Ipswich. This is a draw for me, but what do you say?
How are Palace doing on our table?
Palace they're doing all right. Better than Spurs.
Oh, they're okay. Right.
Palace, who, in real life, didn't win their first game until October, ironically enough against Spurs, and have now actually overtaken Spurs in the league. So, there you go.
1-1.
Let's do it. West Ham versus Newcastle.
Maybe this is I'm talking about these teams having their nice day. But no, I can't see it. No, I think Newcastle win 2-0.
Yeah. Now, I think this might be... You know how we've been talking about has it been getting too unrealistic? I think this
is the proof.
Yeah, I think this might be a reality check for Forest. I think they'll get too excited. They'll get too ahead of themselves because of the occasion. People will start to talk about them, maybe launching an outside title tilt. And Manchester City are going to come. Pep Guardiola's going to come and spoil the party because that's what they do.
I can see a world where that happens, and they could probably pen Forest in.
Yeah,
3-0.
Oof, brutal.
Yeah, but City can do that to you, can't they?
Stop dreaming, Forest. Be content with Champions League football. Maybe. Liverpool.
Shall we do a miraculous twist in the title race?
So at Southampton, 7-0 at Anfield.
I was thinking. So look, Forest play first. Let's say Forest play City in the 12:30. I don't know if there's scheduled times for these yet. And then City go and destroy Forest, and everyone thinks, "Oh, that's the Forest dream over." Liverpool, Southampton at 3 p.m. on a Saturday. Southampton win 1-0.
Ooh, okay, all right. Let's keep this one alive. Chelsea versus Leicester. Do you know what? I'm going to tip Leicester for just a random 2-1 win here. That they just nicked.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? They murder the game and then score in like the 93rd minute, and it's one of those potty away ends where they maybe think, just maybe, we can keep ourselves alive after that one, right?
I'm down with that. Yeah.
So that would have Chelsea up into 5th place, jumping ahead of Bournemouth. Arsenal making a bit of ground on Forest after their loss.
City just sneaking back in there though.
They are, and that's the thing. That is what they're going to do. Like that's what they're going to do in real life. Everybody's had a good laugh at them. Everybody said, "Look what happened to City after Haaland said, be humble," and then they're just going to come and do this, aren't they? You know what they do. How are Spurs looking? Spurs up to 31 points, 13th in the table. Manchester United on 37. Not quite there at safety, but both of us getting close.
The big thing for United and Tottenham now is that they're in holiday season, or you're getting towards that point of the season where you're not playing for anything in the Premier League, which leads to dangerous form.
It is dangerous. It can be dangerous. And I am actually genuinely worried about that. Especially seeing as all of our players seem to hate us. Bournemouth, Brentford. Can you see Bournemouth making a bit of, having a bit of a punch back here after their sort of
Yeah, let's do a 3-1. 3-1 Bournemouth.
Arsenal,
I'd say.
Chelsea, the derby in which I wish both teams could lose? I can't call this one, mate. What would you say?
No, I think Arsenal win this. I think Chelsea are a little bit frail still. That's a 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0. Villa, Liverpool. Oh, do you know what? In our twist and turn title race, I can see it's being a draw for Liverpool here.
Yeah, I can see it.
I could see a 2-2 in this one. Everton, West Ham. Maybe this is Everton's week. Is this time for Everton, or did we give Everton their nice win last week?
I don't know. Did we, who was it we gave it to?
No, we gave Wolves their nice win last week.
Wolves had their nice win last week, so maybe this is the time for Everton and David Moyes. So David Moyes against his old club as well.
That's true. 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 to Everton for that one. Or did you want to go bigger? I could see by the look on your face.
I feel like the average goal number of 2 is just coming up a little bit too much. I think we need to throw in some 4s, 5s, and 6s.
Yeah. Oh, God,
at some point.
4-1. Let's give them a 4-1.
4-1, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Fulham are going to beat Tottenham here, in my opinion.
I think so too.
I can see it being a 3-1 jobby.
I was going 2-1, but 3-1 works.
Yeah, let's do that.
Harry Wilson I love Harry Wilson.
Yeah. So. Ipswich Forest.
Forest to capitalise on Liverpool's drop points with a narrow 1-0, and then the narrative continues.
The narrative. Now, surely, after Leicester's heroic win at Stamford Bridge, they can't follow that up with a win over Manchester United.
Did we give them a win, or they draw?
We did. We gave them a 93rd minute winner. Oh no, it was a draw. I thought I'd given them a winner, but maybe we.
Well, we can go back and change it. That's the magic of this.
I tipped Leicester to have like a 93rd minute winner there. So let's do that. And I don't think they'll follow that up with a win over you. I think you'll bring them back down to earth. Maybe give them a 2-0 away from home.
I can't see United keeping clean sheets really at the moment, so
no?
I just 2-1.
And that should push
you. Should take us above the 40-point mark.
There you go. City, I think, will beat Brighton. I think maybe 3-1. I can see them beating them. Yeah,
I can see them doing
that. 1. Newcastle, I think. Let's have a nice 5-1. I reckon. Newcastle.
There you go. Now we're getting to that point in the season.
Yeah,
where
that's what happens when Newcastle do that to teams. Believe me, I know. Yeah. Southampton. Maybe let's let Southampton have some joy. Let's give them.
They just won at Anfield as well, didn't they? So
yeah, they did. They did.
They follow it up and they maybe get this false belief that maybe they can stay up.
We'll give them a 1-0, yeah, against Wolves.
Yeah.
Like that. So where's that pushed everybody now? So look at this. Forest creeping ever closer to Liverpool. Spurs still 9 points from safety. Manchester United now. So look at that. Look at the gap that's developed there now between Manchester United and Tottenham. Whereas Spurs, thankfully 10 points ahead of the drop zone now. So would like to think we're safe at this point. We've still had some pretty miserable results in there. So Bournemouth, Ipswich. I'm going to go Bournemouth win here, 2-0 probably.
I'm just looking at this. It doesn't get any easier for Tottenham.
No, it doesn't, mate. It doesn't. Arsenal. Oof.
That's a narrow win.
Yeah, I was going to say I could see Fulham sneaking one of those. You know how Arsenal often get one of those ones at the Emirates where a team like Brighton, whoever, nicks one there. I think Fulham might nick it.
You go for it. You go for it. I think what we're what we're going to here is either Nottingham Forest or Manchester City winning the league. I think is what
It feels that way, doesn't it? Brighton, Villa. I think Villa will maybe take this one.
yeah. I'm down with that.
2-1.
3-1.
Don't like twos, do you? Don't like twos.
I'm actively trying to get away from twos.
I think you're going to get a draw here. I think you're going to peg Forest back a little bit. I can see you getting a draw. Boyd,
I can't. I can't personally.
No?
But no, I think that's a Forest win. But I have just kind of outed myself about what I'm trying to do subconsciously here. So
let's give you. I'm going to give you. I know you don't like them, but I'm going to give you a 2-2 here, mate. I'm
okay,
pegging them back. Wolves, West Ham. I'm going to just give it another 2-2. There you go. Let's see why you don't like the twos. We're going to get done here. We always lose at Stamford Bridge. 3-1,
badly?
maybe? 3-1, I reckon, maybe.
I was thinking 3 for Chelsea, so yeah,
3-1. City, this is going to be like a. I'm going to go, mate. I'm going to say 6-0 City.
Yes, I was thinking big score. So could be one of those, like they just had at the weekend.
Newcastle, maybe following up again, maybe a 3-1 here against Brentford.
Yeah, I can't see Brentford getting a result there. So Newcastle at St James's, half decent.
Southampton Palace.
Well, we've just been quite nice to Southampton, and I feel like it's one of these innocuous games against a team like Palace where they'll just kind of fall to pieces again. So 2-0 Palace for me.
2-0 Palace. Oh, Merseyside derby here. I think Liverpool will take this one after.
Yeah, same
points at Goodison. Probably a 3-0 to Liverpool in that, I reckon. Yeah. So that moves Manchester City ever closer to the top of the table. Liverpool, though, still at the summit. Spurs still sat on 31 points, but thankfully still 10 points ahead of relegation. Go with 31. I mean, as a lot of Spurs fans have said, I think Spurs are going to be quite lucky, just in the respect that there's a lot of teams that are worse than Tottenham right now. So
yeah.
Do
you think by this point that Ange is in charge?
No. I think if the results go the way we say they are, I think we'll...
17 defeats in 30 games.
Yeah. 9 wins. 9 victories. And this will be Matty Wells. We won't get another manager in before the end of the season unless Allegri comes in to be like a caretaker manager. As has been suggested. Well, yeah, maybe in that Gus Hiddink Chelsea type way. But it'll be Matty Wells in charge of Ryan Mason. So Villa Forest, maybe a draw here?
Yeah, that's a tricky one for Forest, isn't it? I can't see them winning regardless.
No. 2-2, 1-1? Or do you want to go 3-3? 1-1.
Or 1-1 or 2-1 Villa for me.
I think Brentford might beat Chelsea here.
Optimistic.
I just sort of feel like.
Mind you, Chelsea fans aren't happy at the moment either, so maybe that's a 3-1.
Oh, go on then. Palace Brighton. Maybe Palace will pick up a kind of a result here. Actually,
that's the derby. That's not a derby, isn't it?
Is it the M6 derby, whatever it is?
Yeah,
M3 derby. I think maybe. I'm going to say 2-1 Palace. I reckon.
Yeah, I'm thinking Palace win.
Yeah. This is an Arsenal win, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I would say so.
2-0. 2-0. All right, let's go 2-0. Fulham Liverpool. I think Liverpool will take this just because Fulham like to play football. I see it being a nice, comfortable 3-1 Liverpool.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Ipswich Wolves. Probably a draw, I reckon, here.
Let's throw in a nice random 3-3. I would say.
Oh yeah, go on then.
That one where you look at it and you think, oh, that's a bit of a surprise, and then it still gets put in in fifth on match of the day, even though it's the best game of the day.
I think Newcastle will win 3-0 here away from home.
Yeah, I'm not optimistic for Leicester's chances at all.
Manchester derby.
This is City win this.
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah, probably. Look, the way that it's going, they're starting to build up ahead of steam. I think this is one of those where they just kind of control the game and score early. End up winning 2-3.
Nil. Do you think you'll get one back? 3-1. Let's say 3-1.
Yeah, go 3-1. Go 3-1.
Yeah. I think this might be the one where we win like 4-0, and we just kind of are like, we're bad, but we're not that bad, you know. And
let's be more creative and go 6-1.
6-1. All right. I'll go with that. Yeah, because Spurs can score goals. We've shown that we can do that. West Ham, Bournemouth. I think West Ham will lose that one. I think Bournemouth will win 2-1.
Keep themselves in touch with the top four.
Yeah. So that'll give Spurs pull away a bit, getting closer and closer to the magic 40 points, still behind Crystal Palace, though, frustratingly enough. Liverpool top of the table. Bit of daylight now between them and Forest.
But will one of the chasing pack?
Bournemouth. Let's see. I'm going to say 2-1 Bournemouth in this one.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Brentford. Maybe a comfortable 3-0 for Arsenal here.
I was thinking 3-0.
Yeah, nice. 2-0 Brighton.
Yeah. 2-0 Brighton.
Should we do another big one and a 4-0? Yeah.
I don't know if it. Yeah, I would think so. I think that's a nice Chelsea win, I would say. But I know Ipswich lost at City.
Should we give them 2? Let's have a 4.
I'm thinking like we're getting to that stage of the season where some madder results come up and like teams are a bit looser. So
I think Liverpool will win this 5-1.
Yeah, that's a Liverpool win all day.
City will batter Palace here, I reckon. Maybe 4-1.
Yep.
Newcastle, Manchester United. That's a bit of a miserable one for you. Like, I can see them beating you.
Yeah, generally has been. So I think that's 2-0. 2-0 Newcastle.
Forest, Everton, I think 2-0 again. I can see Forest beating you. Everton here 2-0.
Yep.
Southampton 0. For Villa, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, let's go with 3. I'd say.
Wolves, Tottenham. I could maybe a draw here. Another draw. We drew them 2-2 at White Hart Lane this season, so maybe another 2-2 in the Molineux.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, sounds about right.
Bloody hell. So that's Spurs in 14th on 35 points. Bloody hell. Liverpool still top. Manchester City creeping up on Nottingham Forest now. Level points of Arsenal. Getting spicy. Villa Newcastle. It's going to be a draw, I reckon.
I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think. I can never. Those two teams are like exactly they strike me as like almost very similar, and you just never really know when they could have an off day. So maybe a draw's the safest option.
2-2. Let's go with that. Brentford maybe another draw here. Actually, maybe another boring one. Maybe a bore draw, mate, in this one.
Yeah, let's chuck a 0-0 in there. Just douse a few.
Palace, Bournemouth. What are you saying? Bournemouth win?
Pressure looks off them in the league table as it stands. But we haven't given much to Palace, have we?
No.
Really?
Well, they're doing all right, though.
Yeah, we need. What do you think?
We can go over Palace win if you want. Is that what you're feeling? I can tell that's what you're feeling a little bit. The feeling in your waters.
2-1 to Palace.
Let's do it. Can we have a shock Everton win here against Manchester City?
I wasn't thinking that, but if you would like,
I just sort of kind of think, Man City, like, you're not allowed to win the league this year, right? You've been terrible for a portion of the season. You can't just creep back and win the league from that point. And I think maybe this will be that one that's like, be content with Champions League football, Manchester City.
1-0. Maybe.
Yeah, and Everton get that bit closer to retaining their Premier League status going into their new stadium. Fulham, Chelsea, the Waitrose derby. I think that's. I think Fulham might win that. I might give that to Fulham.
God,
would that be the double?
Got Chelsea down in 8th. Yes, it would.
Do you think Chelsea need to win this? Do you think we need to let Chelsea win this?
No, I'm not. We don't need to do anything, do we? But I think I could see a 2-1 Fulham here, personally.
Go on then. That is what I was originally thinking. So, Ipswich Arsenal. I think it's just a comfortable win for Arsenal.
Arsenal need to keep in the running, so I think they win that.
Yeah, 3-1. Leicester Liverpool. No such joy for Leicester this week. I think 4-0 Liverpool.
4-0 Liverpool. That's what I was thinking as well.
I think this might be a good one for you actually, because you've had a few in different results in our imagined universe.
Nothing ever comes easy though, so I think this is a 2-1.
2-1,
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate this feeling of predicting Tottenham results right now, because things could be very different. But based on kind of us sat here on the 22nd of January, Tottenham lose this quite comfortably to Nottingham Forest. Nuno Espirito Santo cupping his ears, walking into the centre circle at full time, cupping his ears, pointing up at the director's box at Daniel Levy, It's got that written all over.
It would be excellent. It would be excellent television. To be fair, I won't be there. I'll be watching this on TV.
It'd be quite fun, actually. I think.
Yeah.
Even if I do say, just for the narrative reasons, it's quite funny. Spurs
score 3-1. 3-1.
I can't see us conceding 3 to Forest. I think 2-1. I'm going to say I'm going to give us a loss, but we're not going to concede 3 to Forest. I'll say that. Let's give West Ham a 3-1 win here, though. I reckon over Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton. Southampton relegated now. They must be.
Pretty much, they must be. 12 points. I mean, probably not quite technically. How's your maths? Quick maths.
15 points. So no, they're technically not relegated at this point because they won at Anfield. So
Spurs still not at 40 points as well, as Everton and West Ham creep closer to 14th place Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United.
We've reached the important point there at 33 games in, where Tottenham are 13 points ahead of 18th place. So any more drop points by Ipswich Town means that Tottenham survive.
We should be okay, yeah. Okay. We survive because everyone else is terrible. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. Bournemouth, they're going to beat Manchester United 2-0.
Yes, they will, yeah. Yes, they will.
Arsenal are going to beat Crystal Palace 3-1, I think. Any objections?
Arsenal just a little bit of momentum towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Brighton and Hove Albion 2-1 over West Ham.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Should give Chelsea a meaty win here.
Are we thinking 4s?
Yeah.
Or 3s?
Let's give them 4s. 4-0.
4-1. 4-0, 4-1.
Well, this is you pick the scoreline here, mate. Like, we're going to lose, as we always do. I think we've lost. I think there's genuinely. I saw a tweet going around not long ago that since the sinking of the Titanic, Tottenham haven't won away at Anfield. Like, it's still in single digits the amount of times we've won away at Anfield.
Well, I can't see that changing in this fixture. That's a 3-0 Liverpool, I would think. Or I would, that recent game where you kind of come back from 3-0 down for 3-3 and then conceded.
No,
not another one of those, I don't think.
No, we won't. Not a chance. City
beat Villa.
Yeah, 3-1. I'll give them.
Yeah.
I think they'll avoid at this point. They'll sort of want to do what they can do in the league. Newcastle smash Forest. Ipswich, I reckon 4-1.
Yeah. Yes.
Newcastle, high scoring. We're giving Newcastle a lot of goals this season. Actually,
but they can. Like, they've got Isak, obviously. They can, and Gordon chips in, doesn't he? So I could see.
Forest to beat Brentford here 2-1.
We're still going with it, are we?
Yeah.
When does this fall apart for them?
Next season.
This is one of the games where I could see them potentially slipping up, but if I'm
Really?
happy to keep the story going.
No, mate. Let's try to keep it as.
Your surprise 1-2, I think.
Yeah,
that's where it falls down, I think.
Dismay in the stands as Forest have to reconcile that they might only get Champions League football. You know, that kind of thing. Southampton. Do you know what? Can we give them a cheeky win over Fulham here? I don't think.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Give them a 2. Let's give them a 2-1 over Fulham. Wolves, Leicester. I think Wolves should beat Leicester here, probably.
Yeah, you'd think so.
3-1.
You'd think. Do they score goals? Is my only question.
Yeah, well, if Cunha goes, then probably not.
Well, Leicester do concede goals, so
that's true.
Let's go
2-0. Let's go
2-0.
So that's Liverpool 7 points clear with 4 games to go. I mean, that's, you know,
this is not a scenario that I want to exist in.
They've got one hand on the trophy. One hand on the trophy now. And Tottenham Hotspur have 1 foot outside of relegation. I think they should be just about safe by this point.
They are now safe because Ipswich didn't beat Newcastle.
Is that it? They're officially safe?
They're officially safe. Yeah.
Way the parties, all the ticker tape down the Seven Sisters High Road as we celebrate not getting relegated.
Do you think that we're drawing out a really poor season for Tottenham and United here? But do you think there's a trophy in it?
Maybe. You know. Like, and just bullish, you know. Ange said he always wins something in his second season.
He always wins in his second season.
You know. And there's something about Spurs still being in all of the cup competitions that fills me with a little bit of confidence. It's that kind of weird season. Last time we had a season like this, we won the League Cup, you know. So
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Actually, no, it's not strictly true. We won the League Cup, and then the bad season followed that Wendo Ramos. But, you know, still, we were kind of a weird team at that point as well.
I think this is a year where Tottenham will win. Like, I generally think, and unless they're kept apart, if they're kept apart, I generally think United and Tottenham are going to a European final.
But you'd do us in that. You would.
Yeah, I think
you would
so.
turn up in that. That's the annoying thing, and we just would be like, oh no. Actually, United win cups and we don't, even though we sort of managed to show that we can beat you in the league quite successfully often now. But it's still just, it's like that FA Cup semi-final a few years back, right? When really, like, ahead of the game, it was so funny, ahead of the game, me and Hainsey were there, and ahead of the game, and the week leading up to it, it was like, we should beat Manchester United here. We're a better team than them. Pochettino has just sort of got this mastered. And then on the day of the semi-final, we were like, we're going to lose this, aren't we? Like, we're like Man United. Man United just win these games. And you just turned up and just played it just perfectly and just beat us at Wembley, and the dream died a little bit more.
And even Alexis Sanchez scored.
Yeah, after playing the piano on the pitch at Old Trafford. Arsenal, ooh, they might slip up here, you know. This might be a slip up, but probably not.
No, I don't think so. I think Arsenal, in the fixtures coming up, we've got Arsenal or Liverpool versus Arsenal. I think in the penultimate week.
Ooh, brutal.
So I think this builds to a crescendo, which we're going to get to in a minute.
Okay.
So Arsenal win for me.
3-1?
Yeah.
I think Villa will beat Fulham 2-0. I'll say that. I think United will win grubbily 2-1 at Brentford. I think you'll grind one out there, though. I can just sort of see that being the game where you do that type of thing.
Works for me.
I think this could be like a weird draw. This could be like a 1-1, and just not a lot happens in it, you know.
I'd pick Newcastle, but I can see that happening as well. I can see that happening.
Let's say. So I'm guessing then by this crescendo, you're thinking that Chelsea might have
take something off Liverpool.
Yeah, another. Who's going to slip this? Virgil van Dijk has slipped. Is that what it's going to be?
Trent,
and he slipped 2-1 Chelsea. Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. Could the wheels be coming off Forest a little bit at this point? Do you think?
I think, yeah, they had that surprise defeat at home to Brentford, I think it was. But I'd like them to stay in it. I would like them to stay in it.
Give them a 2-1 then.
Let's go 1-0, a grubby 1-0.
Yeah,
maybe.
All right, then. Anthony Elanga just manages to just nick one. Everton, Ipswich, maybe a draw here. Maybe a nice
0-0. Bit
of pride for Ipswich, fighting till the very end. Oh God, this is what do you say about this?
Can you have minus scores?
Yeah, definitely needs it. I think these two will find a way if it is possible, won't they?
If I had to pick, I pick a winner. I pick Leicester. I think 1-0.
Boring.
Yeah.
City. I think this will be another horrible City, like 4-5
I was going 5. I was thinking 5-0. Yeah.
5-0. West Ham's cup final. I think they would delight. They would be absolutely buoyed by the idea of this jumping ahead of Tottenham. Tottenham with nothing to play for.
I don't think it happens though. I think Tottenham sneak a 3-2. Let's be kind.
I'll take it. Yeah, I think West Ham. Maybe West Ham get too excited. You get too excited and think, we'll have Tottenham, and they don't. Bournemouth. I feel like I've said Bournemouth more times than I have any other team, but there you go.
We were quite bullish on Bournemouth, but now they're just falling away a little bit.
And I think Villa might be catching. I think Villa might have a bit of buoyancy.
Yeah, let's create Villa catching them. I think.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah.
Fulham to beat Everton, I reckon.
Yeah, I could see that happening. 2-0.
2-0. Yeah. Ipswich, Brentford. I'm gonna go for an Ipswich win here, mate. Like I said, going down fighting.
I'm happy with that.
1-0.
I could see it happening. Yeah.
Now, I mean, this is quite massive because this is basically. Is this the title? This is the title for Liverpool if they win it.
This would be the title for Liverpool if they win.
At Anfield.
It wouldn't be dependent on Forest's result, but it would be effectively the title.
Yeah. And they've played this scenario out in the 80s, haven't they? Sort of the whole film.
It was 89, wasn't it? And Arsenal won the league. You make the call on this. Well, mind you, I don't want Liverpool to win the league, and you don't want Arsenal to win the league. So do we sit on the fence?
Maybe, but Anfield, the title on the line at Anfield, I think Liverpool take this. In
Yeah.
this
Okay.
scenario, I think they would. It would be hard fought, but I could see them winning 2-1. And it would be like 1-1 for ages, and both teams having loads of chances. Liverpool in like the 70 something minute, Salah pops up, is the hero. Coppens going wild. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want to play out a world where that happens, but I could see it.
So that's Liverpool basically with one and a half hands on the title. Unless Forest do something miraculous. Manchester United, you're going to beat West Ham 3-1, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that.
Newcastle will beat Chelsea, but it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be like a 3-2, like one of those high-scoring games.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, this is the crazy part of the season. So more high-scoring matches than we're giving out.
Do you think Forest buoyed by the Liverpool?
Yes.
Liverpool Arsenal get moved to the evening though. That's the thing. So in this, scenario,
that's a Forest win. I think that's a Forest win. 2-0.
2-0. Southampton, Man City. I mean, it's going to be another. Should we give City like a 7-1 win?
I was thinking 7-0. I was thinking 7-0.
Yeah, I think they'll do something hideous like that to them. I think Spurs will beat Crystal Palace. I think.
Yeah, I think so. The pressure's kind of relieved now.
Yeah.
You know, Tottenham are safe.
I think we'll take them 3-1 because we like to score goals.
Lots of goals.
Wolves beat Brighton, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
2-0 to Brighton.
2-0 Brighton.
So that is all but. So Liverpool aren't champions yet, but they basically are, aren't they? 50 goal difference.
Ah, blimey. And now City and Arsenal are out of the league title race, so it's up to Nottingham Forest.
But they can't. They cannot make up that goal difference.
31 goal swing in 2 matches. How do we do this? How do we create this?
Right. Arsenal, Newcastle. Arsenal licking their wounds. Newcastle. An unlikely. Can they? No, they can't get into the Champions League from this point. So this will be an open end-to-end game, or two sets of players who are just on the beach, if you like.
I don't know. I think this is an Arsenal brave after a difficult defeat last week and losing the league. This is the week where maybe next season, lads.
Yeah.
3-0. Yeah. One of those days where we sealed Champions League, or they already have.
Villa catching up on Bournemouth. They'll beat Tottenham. They'll beat us 2-0, I reckon.
Okay. I'll take your word.
Brentford, Fulham. That will be, does it matter?
Does it? 1-1.
1-1. Brighton, Liverpool. Liverpool have won. Do you know what? This could be that one when Liverpool have all but won the league, so they just lose a random game at the end of the season and just keep people waiting one more week so they can win it at Anfield, kind of thing. So maybe Brighton will beat them 2-1 here.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
And we'll have Chelsea, I think, probably beating Manchester United.
Lots of goals, though, I think.
3-2?
Yeah.
Palace, Wolves. Let's say 2-0 to Palace, I reckon. Everton, Southampton. Everton, probably the last ever game at Goodison Park. So
it's gonna. But would it be very Everton to lose that?
It would be, wouldn't it? It really, to Southampton as well. Miserably relegated South. Yeah, that's got to be. That's Everton 0, Southampton 2. Last ever game at Goodison Park.
So it's one of those games where Southampton score early or in the first half or something, and then Goodison gets really up for it, and everyone's like, come on, come on. And then in the 91st minute, they score a second.
Bye-bye, Goodison Park. Hello, Brent. Leicester, maybe a draw, or maybe Ipswich to win this as well.
Ipswich to win this, I think.
Oh, look, but then Ipswich might have staged. Look at that. That could be an unlikely survival for Ipswich. We're
even
up.
More reason why we need to force this as a win.
Should we say 1-0 to Ipswich?
I was thinking 2-1, but same thing.
2? No, we'll go with that. 2-1. Man City, I think, will win this one 3-1. I think they'll
cut through Bournemouth. Yeah.
We'll have West Ham Forest, which might be Forest getting pegged back.
Yeah, I think so. Like we've had a good run with Forest here, but I think I think this is a 1-2-0 West Ham.
Yeah,
I think.
Forest know they've got Champions League football at this point, so they're happy with that. Tottenham down in 14th place. Not so happy with that. But Ipswich now taking it to the final day of the season. Can Ipswich survive? Please don't tell me it's Ipswich Wolves on the final day of the season. Is it Ipswich Wolves? Who have Ipswich got? It's Ipswich West Ham. Wolves against Brentford. This is massive. This is huge, Scott. This is huge.
This is dual screen. This is end of day drama.
It really is.
Liverpool. One of the games is on Sky Sports. Only one.
Liverpool have won the league, by the way. But yeah, who cares about that? As long as it wasn't Arsenal. Bournemouth will beat Leicester. Bournemouth will beat Leicester 2-0 as they 2-9. As they try to get that sixth place, that Europa League place. Will that be the undoing of them next season, though? Who knows? Watch this space. Fulham against Manchester City. What are you saying here, mate?
That's I don't think City go crazy this day, but I think it's a 1-0 City. I do think they win.
Are we going to give this to Ipswich? Are Ipswich going to stay?
Ipswich are going to beat West Ham. And the last game in this fixture list is where we're going to decide what happens.
2-1, Ipswich beat West Ham. Liverpool are going to have their guard of honour. They've got the trophy out, ready to lift at Anfield on the last day of the season. And they will comfortably beat Crystal Palace.
3-0.
3-0, yeah. Now, this basically decides...
This could be a Champions League place, by the way.
Could it?
As it's slated, as it stands at the moment, I think England are top of the rankings to get the 5th place.
But I think you'll beat them. I think you'll beat Aston Villa.
No, I don't think so.
You not?
No, I don't think so.
What does it mean for Manchester United? It means a bit of pride, but it still means you can't really catch up on Fulham. So, you know.
I think Villa win 2-1. Villa win this 2-1.
Newcastle will beat Everton.
Yeah.
3-0 probably. Forest Chelsea. I think Forest's bubble will burst a little bit here and they'll just
run out of steam.
2-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea there to spoil their end of season. But Forest, Champions League, it'll be a kind of a nice, lap of honour and everything like that at the end of the game. So it'll be lovely scenes there at the City Ground, I'd say. 2 times winners of the European Cup, now known as the Champions League. So let's not forget that. I'm not going to patronise them as a Tottenham fan. Southampton, they're not going to beat Arsenal.
There's no hope for this one. No hope for this one.
That's a 3-0 to Arsenal, I reckon. Tottenham, do you reckon this can be the one where Tottenham are like, well, there is some promise in this team? Or do you think this is the end of season game where it's like, that was a miserable season, and that's a miserable end to that season as well.
No, I think Tottenham are going to the Europa League final after this. So it's
Yeah.
about whether they warm up well or whether they kind of get picked off and don't focus on this game.
Well, if you go by our Champions League season, it was the latter. So we'll probably lose this one then. I'll say maybe like 3-1 to Brighton.
I was thinking 3-2, 3-2, 3-1.
Okay, and it will be one of the. I know this feeling when it's like, thank fuck that season's over. Like, let's just get it. Let's get the poison out completely, and it's done. Now, this is the big one, mate. This is the big one. Wolves against Brentford. Ipswich have won. This would see Wolves relegated, and you know what? I can see Brentford getting a draw at the Molineux.
Me too. Yeah. This is the late peg back, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
this is 2-2, and I think it's going to be Wolves are going to be winning 2-1 into the dying seconds, and it's going to be a heartbreaker from Mbumo, who is going to just break Wolverhampton Midlands hearts and send them back down into the Championship. Are you happy with that?
That was exactly what I was thinking was going to happen.
There we go.
We've created a miraculous Ipswich survival story.
That's the real quiz. You know, as I said in The Office, it wasn't about the Manchester Uniteds or the Tottenhams that could have been relegated. It's the Ipswich Town survival narratives that we created along the way.
And the Nottingham Forest ascendancy and continuation into Champions League qualification.
Now, when just on a serious one, when I look at this league table, that doesn't look wild to me. Like, I don't look at this and think, nah, not in a million years. I kind of look at this and think, the way things are right now, this wouldn't surprise me. What about you?
I think I'm surprised that we've ended up with Chelsea in 8th again. I thought they'd be higher. But in terms of
about a bit this year, though, haven't they?
Yeah, I know. It does seem the sentiment's really down there at the moment, from what I've seen.
Maybe we've hyped Bournemouth a bit too much. Do you think?
They are good, though.
Yeah,
they are good. So they could be one of those teams that have a severe drop off, and maybe we have been a bit too kind to them. But at the same time, the thing with this league at the minute is there's a lot of teams in the middle tier / lower tier who are just good teams that can spring surprises. So, I don't think United and Tottenham are good enough at the moment to build up a head of steam in terms of form. So,
No, I think I look at this. And I think, yeah, I can see the league going this way. So I think we can pat ourselves on the back, Scott, and say we've done a very good job there.
That's riveting. I can't believe we've given Southampton 18 points.
Wow, they deserve it. Anyway, mate, appreciate your time today. Hope you've enjoyed that. Our winding narrative. And if anyone does want to listen to a Manchester United podcast, go listen to The Promised Land. Where can everybody find The Promised Land, Scott?
You can find The Promised Land on Apple, Spotify, all your usual audio platforms, and on YouTube as well, The Promised Land and Manchester United podcast. Thank you very much, Jack.
Cheers, mate. And also, if you want to listen to a Spurs podcast, Rule the Roost podcast. There you go. Just find it anywhere you find podcasts. Anyway, bye-bye.